Welcome back to the Kiosk Gaming Podcast. I am Outlaw Torn 14.
And I am V, the Raging Redneck. This week we are on episode 4 talking about our top 5 games and the reason why we like those games.
Yep.
Bro, how you been?
I've been good, brother. I've been doing okay, man. Streams have been going really well. I've been feeling better since I got the back situation hopefully handled. But no, I had no complaints, brother. I have been feeling really good. I've been feeling really good.
Hey.
How was the visit going with the mother-in-law?
Dude, it's good times, man. Mom she's getting that opportunity to sit back and relax, not stress.
Yep.
She's here for a few months, I believe is what my wife said. They're doing the Easter thing today. Yeah, so ladies are doing their thing. My son, he's out and about with his buddies, so it's just Papa V in the household, not doing a whole lot. How's them shots working out for you?
So they're good. They're actually working out. I got them about 2 weeks ago, I want to say. The first day, man. The first day was good, like you said it would be. Like it was like I jumped out of bed like a 10-year-old. You know, and it was nice, man. I was walking up and down the hall like I owned the damn place, and I can't say that they're working 100%. I can't say that they're not working. They're there. You know, it's good. Definitely a lot better than it's been. You know, I can actually go to bed without crying half the time, so it's been pretty good.
So you cry for other reasons.
Other reasons, yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Not kidding, obviously. Yeah, that's good, man. I do hope, like we've talked offline about, I hope that they do find you something that's more permanent, something you don't have to worry about keep going back with. So
I'm seeing him. I'm seeing him pretty soon. Yeah, no, I'm happy it's working too. I'm seeing him pretty soon, so we will be talking
good shit.
Further up. Yeah. Which where did they head off to today?
They are going to do seafood. Seafood's not my thing.
I would have went.
I
would have went.
I'd rather eat the ass out of a raw cow before I go eat seafood, dude. I can't. I got food poisoning when I was younger, and it has ruined me. Yeah, I've had shrimp a few times. Fish itself, I've never been a huge fish guy, but actually shrimp's what gave me the food poisoning. But occasionally I find myself wanting to lean back into it. It's not a go-to food for me, though.
Yeah, I get that.
So
it's funny that you say that about the shrimp, because I had a bad experience with shrimp too. That was my first experience with shrimp with seafood. My buddies a while back, God, I was probably like 15, maybe 16. They were cooking shrimp for the family because I slept over the house, and they made it, and I'm telling you, that shit you could have bounced it off a wall. That was so rubbery. It was awful, and I think I never had anything else until like a way later in life. But yeah, that kind of got me off seafood for quite some time.
Yeah, mine was from a restaurant. Sorry, I keep leaning, I'm trying to adjust, but mine was from a restaurant, and they didn't devein the shrimp.
Oh.
And I don't know if y'all know, but that vein is like apparently their butthole going straight to their. So yeah, they didn't devein it. It was popcorn shrimp. I didn't pay any attention. Tearing it down. Woke up the next day. Fluids and antibiotics, and it was a rough about 3 or 4 days after that, with just shitting and puking and all the good stuff. You know? So it pushed me away for a long time. Like I said, occasionally, if I cook it on the grill, I will eat it, but that is definitely not my. No. It takes a lot. It takes a whole lot to get it.
I mean, you had a bad experience. I totally get that. I totally get that.
Yeah. So outside of that, man, everything else been good? I mean, you said streams are going good. The shots are working for you.
Yeah, streams are going good. I was able to get back into American Truck Sim, which I haven't been able to because of my back. But no, they've actually been going really well. I've been meeting some really cool people.
Good.
Yeah, dude, it's been going great, bro. Hell yeah.
Good
really
deal.
good.
Maybe one day I'll return to the streaming community as far as being a streamer, but right now, I mean, this is really all I have time for, man. Yeah. I mean, working and then coming home with my mother-in-law here, and just dealing with life in general, that's part of the reason why I had stepped away to begin with, because I knew things were escalating to where I wasn't going to have that time to sit down and plan and do a few hours. So I left it alone and just kind of bowed out. Yeah.
No, I completely understand that. Like it's one of those things where, you know, if you have the time to do it. But if you don't, it's like,
yeah.
And you try to force it. I think forcing it to where it could be really bad. So no, I got that. I totally understand that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if you're ready, dude, we will start our top 5 list. Talk about our games yet again.
Let's do it. I am totally ready. And if you guys have any comments about your top 5 games, PC, console, handheld, we don't care. What's your top 5 games? It could be anything, any generation. We just kind of curious what your list compared to our list would be. Because looking at both lists, we do have doubles again, like we did last time. But let us know. Let us know what yours are, for sure.
Yeah, ours are definitely similar because we're similar in age. But guys, drop them in the comment section. Let's check them out. We'll compare and contrast and see where everybody's at versus where we are.
Yep. My number 5 is Assassin's Creed Black Flag. I think it's one of the best ones in the series. It's probably one of the more known ones of the series. I would think asking anybody what their favorite Assassin's Creed is probably would be Black Flag. I just loved it because it's like, you know, sailing around, just listening to them singing the sea shanties. It's fun. The ship battles were awesome. You know, you can get out of your boat and go into someone else's boat and take it over, or sink it, or sink it, or have like another captain of the boat. You know what I mean? But you know, having the epic ship battles at the end of the game, or getting to climb the trees in the forest and stuff like that. I think it's one of the better ones. I really did enjoy that one. Unfortunately, coming from, I know that they wanted to make it differently, but with the Skull and Bones coming out and not being able to get off your boat, and you basically are the boat, I think that may have been what hurt the game more than anything. I get it's online. I get that you can't really pause online and jump on someone else's boat, but I just think it really hurt the game. I really do. But like I said, everything with Assassin's Creed Black Flag, it's fun, and I think going back to it today is something that can be done. Like it's not a game, if you go back to it, you're like, oh, this game's not fun. This game has shown its age. I don't think it really has. Like I said, best one of the series, I think. I haven't played the new one, haven't had a chance to yet, but I watched this guy beat it before we started the podcast, so I was like, I saw the ending. I'm still not going to say I'm not going to play it, just because I saw the one cutscene I saw was him dying, or him making the final kill at the end. I was like, okay. But
I will have to say I do like the new one, and I do hope you get to experience it soon, dude, because it is. I haven't played an Assassin's Creed fully since the very first one. I've helped my little brother with it. I have watched Black Flag. I can't remember if you streamed it or if it was another buddy of ours, Fang, if he streamed it.
I think Fang did. I think it was Fang.
It might have been, but yeah, I've seen it. I'm not a pirate type game, so that's that wasn't for me. But there's no love lost on it.
Yeah, I think the worst part of Black Flag, and I think it was Black Flag where they started this, you had to chase down pieces of paper for like tattoos or other sea shanties. I think it was Black Flag that did it. Don't do that again, Ubisoft. It's annoying. It's a pain in the ass. Like, you got to be on point. If you fall off something by accident, that paper's gone, and it takes it like 10 minutes to reset. Yeah, it was a dumb feature. I think it's in another one after that, but don't do that, Ubisoft.
Yeah,
please.
No, shit like that'll ruin a game for you.
Yeah.
One with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 4, Turtles in Time, or for those of you who were back in the arcades like I was back then, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 is what it was called.
Yeah.
So that was definitely a wild time for games, because 1 and 3 never made it to the arcades, and 2 and 4 were in the arcades. But for me, it really showcased a lot of the side-scroller action that could come along with the Ninja Turtle games, and the epic starting out, being on that bridge, going through and fighting Baxter Stockman, and then working your way through and going just through different parts of time. Man, that was so awesome. Seeing the characters outside of the 8-bit realm and finally in the 16-bit realm, and getting your buddies over with the multi-taps, or I can't even remember if that's what it was called on the SNES back then. But everybody getting to pick their character, it's Ninja Turtles, bro. Yep. What could you not love about the Ninja Turtles in this day and age, especially? I remember growing up, my mom telling me, "Oh, well, I shouldn't be letting you watch the Ninja Turtles. They're very, very violent." And I was like, "Mom, have you actually watched an episode? Like, no, this is my go-to right now. Please don't take this away from me." And she watched an episode, and I can't remember which one it was, but there wasn't a whole lot going on in it. There wasn't really a whole lot of fighting up until like the last few minutes, and then it was said and done. And she was like, "Well, that's not as bad as what I was hearing it was." But no, as far as the game, dude, experiencing it in the arcade, then coming home, I can't remember how long afterwards. It's been many years ago, but coming home, man, and being able to play it on console, that to me was just epic, bro. Yeah, just epic.
I'm gonna say this here, I honestly did not play the arcade one. I think the first time I played it was actually on SNES. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I never played the arcade version of that one, and then now I wish I have. Yeah.
It was a great port. Let's put it that way. So it was a pretty well true port coming from arcade to home console. So no matter where you played it at, it was really, you're playing the same game.
Yeah. Wasn't the Genesis version was different, right? That was different from the SNES version, I think. I could be wrong.
I'd have to look into that. Okay. I know, like, Mortal Kombat on SNES was different than the Mortal Kombat on Genesis, but as far as the Turtles one, I don't remember. Honestly, don't. I never played it on Genesis, and honestly, I thought it was a Nintendo game. Hyperstone was Genesis.
That's why I'm thinking it was different. Okay, so then that was the Hyperstone Heist, was the Genesis one. Okay, so then that was different. Yeah. I think they had similar levels, but I think the story like jumped differently. Like, you're on the pirate ship in Turtles in Time. I think in the Hyperstone Heist it was like a sewer level or something different. Like, it wasn't the exact same game, but I think you're correct about that. I'm pretty sure it was Hyperstone Heist.
Right. Yeah, and we're talking about going way back too. We'd have to look into it to really know for sure.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, TMNT 4. That's my number 5, guys.
I fully backed at number 5. For anyone that's not played it, I'm sure you have by now. It's SNES, or as V said, arcade.
Yep.
It's just such a good game. Like, it's, get your friends over and play it all, or even hell, PC ports now these days, like, it still runs the same, dude. Like, it's so good. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Totally agree.
Oh yeah. Real quick, you threw out the PC. So for those of you who have RetroArch, they do have a net play. It is pretty easy to connect on there. I can help a little bit, but there are guides all over YouTube. So if you and your buddies want to play and you have that ROM, NetPlay is the way to go. Look it up, check it out, and enjoy. Believe me, it is a lot more fun with friends than it is running solo.
100%, yeah, and that's something I think that we're gonna have to get into, because I'd like to do that.
I'm down. I am definitely down.
Hell yeah, let's do it. The original God of Wars 1, 2, and 3. I absolutely love those games. I thought they were very well made. The controls were perfect. Like, I don't think they could have changed the controls for anything else. I thought that it was great. Like, you know, the locked camera, you know, it being fixed the way that it was, I loved it. I thought it was just a good game. The epic battles and climbing the giants and ripping their eyes out, and you know, climbing the mountains, when stuff is moving, like you don't even know, and all of a sudden, like, you're climbing a moving mountain and you realize, oh my god, this is something else.
Oh yeah.
You know, and just all the epic battles. You know, you fight against Zeus and you fight against Ares, and I know most people have played those. I love the God of War series. I think 1 through 3 is probably one of the best of the series, or 3 of the best of the series. Yeah.
Absolutely. I don't like the remakes myself, but I do think that God of War was a great trilogy. The first, you know, I couldn't wait for 3 to come out. I went back and played 1 and 2. I've played the PSP or Vita. I can't remember which. I think it's PSP versions of the games.
I think so, yeah.
Oh man, they're just such good games. The story was original in a time when we needed some originality going on. So that's what really made them stand out. I think the changeover kind of sucks. That's a button masher game, dude. That would be like taking Devil May Cry and making it into an RPG.
Yeah.
I don't like the direction they went with it.
No.
But I agree, man. God of War is a damn good series.
Yeah. And the reason I mainly picked it, so, well, I loved it, like I said, but I remember going over my sister's, well, is now husband's house or apartment at the time, and we played all 3 of them. Like, we sat there on the weekends or a Friday night, and we played them for a couple hours. You know, it was a nice change for us, because unfortunately he gets motion sickness, so he can't do a lot of games. But because God of War was that fixed camera, he can play it, or he can watch me play it when we were doing it. And I'll always remember that. That was one of the first games I remember going over and us playing, and just watching his reaction of different things, and my reaction for the first time. I was like, this is cool. Like, this is great. Like I said, they didn't. I don't think they changed the controls too much on the new ones, but as you said, I think they took it in the wrong direction. But you know, it is what it is now. It's everything is out. But if you've only played the remakes or the new ones, well, what is it? I guess 5 and 6 now, something like that. Go back and play 1 through 3. You know, Ascension was okay. I honestly, I didn't like that one as much. That's why it's not on the list. But if you grew up just playing the 2018 ones and on, go back and play 1 through 3, and you're going to be like, I agree. They shouldn't have changed these games. Yeah.
The God of War series, again, it was just a fantastic change of pace from I guess you would say the norm, because back then it was a lot of racing games. Yep. This was even before the shooters and stuff. So, and then to have that Greek mythology, I love that. Yep. When they went to Norse mythology with it, I was like, dude, if you're going to do a God of War series with a different mythology backing, change your main character.
Yeah.
Change your main character to something else. Don't change what's there already. Yeah. Take what's there. You could have ended it on 3, that would have been fine, and then you could have had a God of War with a completely different guy as your main, or female. Either way.
Yeah, there you go. And I'll say that the 2018 Kratos, that dude's a dick. Like, he's just a straight dick. I'm like, you know, he's got this. You know, you're walking around with this kid. His, you know, trying to take your wife's ashes to the top of the mountain, but there was so many times, man, I just wanted to punt that little bastard off the top of that cliff, man. I was like, this is not God of War, dude. But yeah, that'll be coming later when we do more of a deep dive on the rants. But yeah, not my go-to. I wouldn't go back to it today. Like, if someone said, do you want to play God of War, which one? My question would be, which one? Are we talking about the new one? Are we talking about the older ones? Because if it's the older ones, down. If it's the new ones,
Yeah.
nah.
Yeah, you can keep it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
the new ones keep them. I'm going with Castlevania Symphony of the Night. I can rate that one higher on the list, but I think 4 is a good spot for it. I hadn't played Castlevania since Super Castlevania prior to this one.
Damn.
And yeah, dude. And prior to that, I played Castlevania 1, 2, and 3 on the NES. Didn't even know that they had continued the series, to be honest with you. I was at EB Games, I believe. It's been a long while, but for those who don't know, EB was Electronics Boutique, which later got bought out by GameStop, although I think there's still some around, and we all know what's happening with GameStop. And if you don't, you need to go back in time for at least the last 5 years, and you'll see exactly what's been going on with that company. But I came across it, and I was like, no way, dude, another Castlevania? Let's check it out. So I bought a copy of it, took it home, started playing it, and when the whole world flipped, I was like, thought the game was over. Let's fucking go, dude. I had a whole nother game to play. The music, the gameplay, the mechanics, just, it was, for the time, really just, it paid the piper, you know. It made it well worth playing, and I have to make that one. Like I said, I could rank it higher on my list. If we did a top 10, it would still be up in the top 5, just because I enjoyed that game so thoroughly. How about you? Have you ever played it?
I've played that one. I was just gonna say I have played that one, and I know, as Assassin's Creed with Black Flag, I think Symphony of the Night is probably the one you would hear is the most go-to of that series. Like it's one of the cooler ones. It really is. Like the layout, the way the map was, the characters, the combos, the buttons, like everything worked well. But yeah, I totally agree with that. But I have played that one, and yes, I would say it's definitely one of the well-known Castlevania games.
Oh yeah, I think Castlevania as a series is real great. And if you haven't checked out the Netflix show on the Castlevania, give it a watch. It's pretty good.
I don't think I ever saw that one. I saw the camera.
I wasn't going to mention it. I was just going to let it ride. Yeah, my camera shutter resets for some reason. Eventually, I do plan on getting a new one that doesn't have that issue. But yeah, my camera decides that it has to reset the shutter every so often. But yeah, if you've not checked it out, man, definitely give it a watch. It obviously is like the other ones. It starts off, first little bit of the episode gives you that break-in moment, and once you get past the break-in, it becomes a really, really good show.
Cool.
But yeah, dude, Symphony of the Night, it just, for me, starting off at the end, I can't remember which game it was, so forgive me, but starting off at the end of the Genesis version, I believe it was, game, replaying that last bit of the story, and then jumping into a whole new game was just, it was epic to me, you know. And when it came out, I was still a teen. Just always loved games, but I was still a teen when it came out, man, and it really just resonated with what I was looking for. Something different, something fun. The different costumes, I guess you would say, which really, I think the cape was the biggest thing that changed, but the different weapons and stuff too, and the bosses. The bosses, each area being, while might not be completely different and may look slightly similar, you experience different enemies, and that just made the whole level feel different. Even though the one giant map, you still felt like you were in a different level each area you went to.
Yep. No, I totally agree with that. I would, not on my list, but if we had a top 10, it would definitely be on my list for sure. Like that's a given. Yeah, for sure. So my next one up is a very older game. This is a throwback to when I was a wee little bastard, let's say. I'm combining two games just because I think, honestly, you talk about these games, you're gonna be like, which one's the better one? So I couldn't place it because even I had the internal struggle to do it. So mine's Mega Man 2 and 3. I absolutely love Mega Man. I have learned patience with Mega Man. I know you may not see it. I don't see it half the time either, but I've learned to take stuff slowly if you can, and you know, resetting the levels, resetting the bosses, trying to figure stuff out. That was almost like the original Souls type game, you know?
Yeah.
But it's 2 and 3. Like I just love Mega Man. Like the music, the intro, it's just so friggin' epic. Like it's almost like watching like an intro movie. Like you see that first, the shot of the building, then it goes up and that badass music's playing in the background. You're like, this is gonna be cool. Like you know what you're getting into. But you know, they added the sliding in 3. I think they added you know, a cheat in 3 where if you hold down the buttons, you can like do a super jump. So I thought that was fun. Like that was a nice little nod to it. But you know, like I said before, my cousin and I would play the hell out of Mega Man, and I think 2 and 3 was definitely a go-to. I saw V hold up to 2. I know we talked about it a few days ago. I will give it that. Like 2 is a good one. Personally, I do like 3 just because of the addition of the sliding. But honestly, if you gave me 2 to play now, let's do it. Like I'll do it. But I know it's just if you've not seen the intros of those, I'm gonna have them playing, but I won't have them with the music. But if you want to see them with the music, just watch the intro. It's like a minute. It's friggin' epic. It really is. It's such a good intro.
Oh yeah.
You know, it doesn't tell you much. It, you know, it just says, you know, in 20xxx type stuff. But you know, as soon as you play it, you got that quick beat of the music, then all different boss music. And it's a fun game. I know it's not for everybody, as Dark Souls games aren't either, but it's fun. Like I just love it. I mean, even if you just play it for the music and just want to hear it at the beginning of the levels, play it for the music. Like it's just a stellar game. And honestly, I think it was Mega Man that started the repeating bosses at the end. I think that might have been Mega Man, where you fight the bosses and you get their weapons and then you refight them at the end. I don't remember, but I think it might have been Mega Man that started that and stuck with that tradition. You know, if you're ever playing the games and you're fighting the bosses over and over again, you're probably like, this is like Mega Man. I've mentioned it many times on stream before. I've mentioned it in people's streams before. I'm like, you just Mega Man this boss, and they're like, they know exactly what I mean. They're like, yep, I did. I used the power against them. And yeah, it's been fun talking with people and getting their reaction when I say that, because he's like, what do you mean? Or they know exactly what you're talking about.
Hell yeah. For me, man, Mega Man 2 was my intro to the Mega Man series.
Yep. And
our discussion we had, we were talking about the music, and Outlaw said he liked the music on 3, and I was like, I don't know, man. I think 2 to me was just that grab you by the balls and take you where it wanted you to go. And you didn't really know it until you actually started. And once you got to Wily's Castle, that's when you really, really knew, holy shit, I see why that music was so intense at the beginning of the game. You know, but I think they both had similar intros, right? They both just went up the building. Mega Man dropped in, and then the music started cranking, and it was like, hell yeah, here we go. So, I do not have the Mega Man series on my list because, one, I had forgotten about them, and 2, it's been decades since I've played. But yeah, they would definitely be in my top 10. Especially 2, like I said, that was my intro to the series, so it has a special spot in my heart for it. 3, I did enjoy some of the mechanic additions. I personally was not a fan of the X series. I felt like they were trying to modernize something that was already in the future, if you get what I'm saying.
Okay, I see what you mean.
Yeah, they were adding more to it. it was making what should have been a already complicated side scroller into something more complex.
Yeah.
Stick to the basics, keep it simple, stupid. And
I honestly, in the way that you put it, I can honestly say I can agree with that. Like, I like the X series. I thought the X series was good. X4 was probably one of me and my cousins go to. Mega Man, like, we love that one, but I can understand what you're saying. Like, they really did make a already difficult side scroller even more difficult by adding all these different mechanics, like wall jump and wall bouncing off the side. And I think the slide was there, and you can like run forward and dashes and all that. But I totally get that. I get that.
Yeah, from like that's really my biggest hindrance on the X series. And I say hindrance, and that's as far as playing, not hindrance as far as being able to play.
Yeah.
But as far as those two right there, oh hell yeah, dude, they would definitely be in my top 10 of favorite games of all time.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
We've already talked about it, the God of War original trilogy. And I will add I can't remember both names, but I do know one of them was called Chains of Olympus, and it was basically the PSP port. Dude, I love those games. We've really said what we can say on God of War, the original, the vengeance, the fighting of the gods, the leveling up your characters, the just everything, man. I mean, that game to me was like an all-around killer, and it just made you want to keep playing, made you want to go back and play it again. You've seen me stream both God of War 1 and 2, and that's been after years of it.
Yep.
But yeah, like I said, we've talked to that one. God of War 1 through 3.
Yep.
Don't come at me with your God of War 18. No, none of that shit. That doesn't matter. You can be wrong. It's okay. I accept it. Everybody has that right. If it ain't the first 3 or the PSP ports, there's no need to change it.
Yeah.
But we beat the dead horse with that one.
Were the PSP were they ports, or I thought they were separate stories.
I want to say Chains of Olympus for sure was just a, I guess, toned down version of the original.
Okay.
And like I said, I don't remember the name of the other one.
Yeah, I forgot the name of the other one too.
But I'm pretty sure they were just the first 2 games remade for handheld console.
Oh, okay. If you've not played them, play them and compare it. Say, this is what we had. This is what you have. Like, the 18 version didn't have the epic boss fights. Like, I played. Okay, so coming from somebody that loves the series, I know V does too. But my sister's husband, as I said, we love the series. After we played 18, I think we both looked at each other and said, "We're done. We're not playing these anymore," because you had the epic boss fights in 1 through 3. Like, you had that cool stuff, but 2018's version, you fought the same boss 3 times. Wow, they couldn't think of anything else. You fight a dragon. I think the dragon's the only boss I really remember, because that was a cool fight, but it wasn't a God of War fight. Like, you were fighting them. It wasn't you on the dragon's back beating the shit out of its head. It was it's flapping its wings and you had to jump over its wind. I didn't like it. Like, it wasn't God of War to me. As you said, it's an RPG. It's not a hack and slash. But I like I said, if you want to compare them, you can't. There's no comparing. You can compare 1, 2, and 3, but you can't compare the 2018 versions to anything else. You just can't.
No, it doesn't work. No. And I'll tell you, when I realized I was not going to play the new one, was the announcement trailer. When they said they were taking Kratos away from Greece and putting him in Norseland, I'm like, all right, well, skip. And then I've seen gameplay and I've had buddies tell me, man, you should try it. And I was like, yeah, I got right there. And then I realized by looking into it that it was an RPG game versus I mean, there are RPG elements on the original. You do level up your character, you do level up your weapons, but you're not out actively hunting and seeking this and that. It just keep the levels designed like you had it. That made it fun. You knew you were on a semi-linear path, even if you did loop through and go back and have to repeat certain areas. But you knew where you were at. You were leveling certain things for certain reasons just to get stronger. And it wasn't, I got to go find this so I can create this and make that. And I didn't even know about the boss fight shit.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, let me mash the shit out of my buttons. Let me go. It's a beat 'em up brawler style game. Let's stick with it. Let's make God of War what it was, you know?
And not even that, bro. Like, they took the fucking, I'd say probably one of the coolest weapons in gaming history, which are the Chains of Chaos, gone from the 18 version. Gone. You find the Chains of Chaos under his bed after his son gets kidnapped. Spoiler alert if you've not played the game. You find him under his bed. He's like, okay, now I'm seeking vengeance. You play with the Chains of Chaos maybe 20 minutes of the game. The whole of the time, you're a fucking axe. You use an axe. You're a lumberjack escorting a brat. It's just, it lost its touch. And, you know, I've said it before. If it came to any other console besides PlayStation, it would have got shit on. That was the same year. I think it was one of the same years Forza came out. And I kept thinking to myself, if Forza came out and they were like, we're not going to have cars, we're going to have motorcycles. You know how much shit Xbox would have gotten for that? They would have got dumped on. But because it was a God of War game and it's such a beloved series and Sony could do no wrong at that time, everyone jumped on it and they were like, oh my God, this is such a great game. It wasn't. I'm sorry. It just wasn't. You know, and as I said before, you know, again, we kind of went in the other side of our conversation where we're talking about a game we don't like, which I know, you know, stuff's going to be coming up as it is, but I think it just changed too much. I really do. And like I said, I just think that if it was on another console, if Nintendo did it or if Xbox did it, it would have got shit on. You know, and I know they did, you know, the fact that they did change Zelda to an RPG. It's basically Skyrim now. It's Skyrim with a Zelda skin. I know that was one of the better games for Nintendo, and they couldn't do no wrong either. But you took the charm out of the game. You took the charm out of God of War. I'm sorry, you did. That's how I feel.
Yeah, you stick with what works, because we've all found throughout time that once you start improving upon it, you're not working.
No.
You're gonna, once you start changing, once you start taking a game as good as that trilogy was, and you add other elements that are really not necessary, changing the story again, moving a character who was in one time, one area, one region, and putting them somewhere else. I mean, let's step back to Assassin's Creed. Okay. Each one of those that had different regions, they had different main characters. Yep. It wouldn't have been that hard to develop another character. Y'all stuck with Kratos because he was who he was. Yep. I get that. Don't do it. You know, don't do it. At the end of one of the original trilogy, he was upset about losing his wife and child. Why now have a son? And I don't know. Again, we're beating a dead horse with this one because we both agree on it and we know what we like when it comes to those series. And when they made the changes, it just took away from, I guess, the nostalgic feature, and that's what leaving us to not really care for it.
Yep. But yeah, we're gonna move on, because as I said, I even told V before we kind of started, I said you may have to rein me back on the God of War talk, because I'm gonna go full guns with this one, but we're gonna go ahead and move on. Link to the Past, which is SNES, and Ocarina of Time, which is N64. Those are definitely my number twos, and I see that they are V's number twos as well. It was the time when they brought Link to SNES, and people were like, okay, what do we expect? And it was just such a good game. You know, the beginning, the music, the you know, the intro to everything, finding out who does what and what does what, and you know, saving the world, we got to do this, we got to do that. But you know, they just the way the map looked. Like, I know people that have tattoos with the map of Link to the Past on them, because it's just such a beloved game. Like, you know, I think that was the introduction to a lot of different aspects to Link. You know, you learn more about him. You saw what he could do. You can throw pots, and you can pick stuff up now, and you have all these different powers you can work with, and it was just such a good story. Like, I really, as I said before in the last one, I did stream that one, and I would still play that to this day. Like, it's just a good one. It's such a fun game. You know, they have the light and the dark world. You use a mirror to bounce back and forth. I just loved it. But bro, yeah, I know we can kind of keep going on this one, but how about yourself, man? What do you think about that one?
So as far as A Link to the Past, for me, that story, it kind of grabbed you by the heart and pulled you along. It was, you know, get in the car, let's go for a ride, and you wind up driving a cross-country trip. It was just one of those types of games. And I was going to actually mention, you know, it was the first time in the series where you went two different worlds all upon the same thing, you know. I do feel like Ocarina of Time, when they developed that game, they realized what they had with Link to the Past, and so they were like, well, we can do this, change the story up slightly, but still give everybody that feeling that they got in the originality of A Link to the Past.
Yep.
You know, Zelda 1, Zelda 2, good games in their own right. Zelda 2 in its own right.
Different discussion.
Once we hit A Link to the Past, man, it was just like, this is epic.
Yeah.
You know, you're back against Ganondorf, and or Ganon, however you wanted to call him back then. But, you know, and then the world, the environment, the map, the enemies. Yes, we did have enemies that reappeared, but it's just that, again, that grab you by the heart. Let's keep you emotionally attached to what's going on.
Yep.
And once you feel like you're starting to deter away, boom, here's another part of the story to get you back on track and keep you wanting to push further and get into it. You know, and again, I feel like Ocarina of Time played that same way. You know, you got into the game, you got emotionally attached there. You left the Deku area, you started out into Hyrule, and you might have gotten a little off of, okay, well, now we're starting to do this. But as soon as that happened, it was like, hey, come on back. We got something for you here. Here you go again.
Yeah, and to bounce off the Link to the Past, like you said, I think it was the first time where you did have that light and dark world. Like, you solved the puzzle in light world, it came over to the dark world, or vice versa. But like I said, like, you have an inventory of stuff to do, and you can talk to people, and you know, it's secrets, finding stuff out. Like, you know, you go under a bridge, you could buy a bottle, or you go here, you could do all this type of stuff. But I'm the same way. But you know, the first time you flip on Ocarina of Time, and I'm telling you guys, if you didn't get a chubby when you saw Hyrule Castle in Hyrule, the open world, what are you doing? Like, you had to be like, this game is gonna be so fucking good. You know,
dude.
You know, I will admit, I used to play it and just get to Grown Up Link and stop, and then replay it to get back to Grown Up Link and stop. But I did like playing. I did like playing as Kid Link more. But I think with the introduction as adult Link, and going into those castles as him, and you know, the enemies and stuff like that, like V said, you know, they did bring a lot of the older ones back. But I'm telling you, that first time you see the castle, you're like, holy shit, this is going to be such a good game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. And that, when you hit A Link to the Past, you flip that power button on, platink, you hear the Nintendo, and then the music starts. Oh, bro. It's like, yep, this is the moment where it's reeling me in. I've already liked Zelda before. Let's see where we're headed. And you know, that music where you open up, your uncle takes off and you take off, you know, shortly after to go see what's going on. And from the moment you see your uncle there and you take that sword and shield, you knew you were on a mission.
Oh yeah.
And once you completed it, it was what, the 3 pendants and then the seven crystals after that, and the other, dude, it was so great. And then for Ocarina, I mean, you get through your first part, that opening up into this massive 3D world, you know, and being in the view, not the overhead classic view, but being in this view of, dude, you could just, it gave you that immersion. It gave you that feeling of expansiveness. And being able to traverse back and forth, and you do this as a kid, when you get older, you got this available to you, you know, unlocking heart pieces and just different things, man, different ways to access different parts of the area by jumping back and forth. And I know Ocarina of Time specifically is a big speed run game, but don't speedrun that game, man. Take your time and enjoy it. Yes, enjoy it. Love it. Take every part of it in. There's no reason to rush, man. It's that old school, everybody used to say, travel Route 66, enjoy yourself, have a good time. You're there for the adventure. You're not there to get to the finish line.
Exactly, yeah. And you know, fun fact about Ocarina of Time, I found out that the first thing you get is that the Dooku stick. I heard that was just as powerful as the Master Sword. That's how they're doing speed runs. Because I've seen a ton of speedrunners beat that game with the Dooku stick. And yeah, I've heard them say that it's I guess the way that it was coded just as strong as the Master Sword. Obviously it breaks. I think it breaks there's like 3 hits, but yeah. It was coded just to be as powerful as the Master Sword. I thought that was neat. I was like, okay, that's cool.
That was something I didn't know.
Yeah, but as V said, take your time. If you've never played it before, take your time with it. It's a good game. Look it up. You know, find the secrets. Find them on your own if you want to. But it's just such a good game. It really, really is.
Oh yeah.
And like I said, that is our number 2, like both of our number 2s, but. You know, if we had a top 10 or we were doing a higher list, I'd still have it probably in the same spot. You know, it's
easily.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those games that hits the mark every single time you play it. And you know, I remember actually getting Ocarina of Time for Christmas. My grandparents bought it for me, and as I said, I played a lot of games with my cousin. And I got it, and I was playing it, and he's like, dude, you're not going to like this game. You're not going to like this game. They changed so much of it, this and that. And as soon as I played it and I started playing it, I looked at him like, dude, what are you talking about? What do you mean I'm not going to like this? This game is epic. Like, as we said, the back, you know, you see the back of them, the fighting of it. But and Link to the Past, which I'm happy about as well, they did bring back that top view.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
Yeah, considering you had the injured worlds, or when you entered towns and stuff in the second one, you were side-scroller until you were back in the open world, and then that was a great mix, but I don't think that story held as true to many people's hearts as specifically the first Zelda, which I honestly have a hard time going back and playing compared to Link to the Past and Ocarina of Time.
I can see that.
Yeah, those two, I love them, man. I could start right now and play either or of them and play it until I'm done with it.
Yeah, like you said, you streamed Ocarina of Time. I think you 100%ed that one.
Yep, we did. We went through everything on it. Had some nice, funny glitches. And if you want to see some of those glitches, I actually have them on our TikTok channel for Kiosk. But yeah, man, God, dude, we could spend a whole episode just talking nothing about Zelda games. You know?
Yeah, that is very true. That is very true.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do a brief mention of a few of our honorables that could have made the list, probably in a different timeline would have made the list, but we enjoyed them enough to throw them in and say, hey, these are some games that if you've never seen or never played, definitely check them out.
Yeah. All right, I'll kick off with mine. One of my honorable mentions. It could have made the list, like I said, if we did do a top 10, but Super Mario World. Super Mario World's an honorable mention, 100%. Like I don't think you would find it on anyone else's not good game list. You know what I mean? Like it's one of those games that you pop on, as V said. Like when you pop on Zelda, you hear the ding. Same thing with Super Mario World. Like you pop it in, you hear the music, you're like, that's Super Mario World. I know that.
Yep.
I know that game.
Yep.
Like as I said, people have gotten tattoos based off that game. Not just Mario, based off that game. But yeah, that's definitely my honorable mention for sure, because it's one of those games you can go back to now and it doesn't matter. You're like still finding new shit. You're like, I didn't know I could do that. you know. Plus I think that was one of the ones that introduced like hidden pathways and all that stuff.
Ways to beat level, access different parts of the area. Yep, man, I agree with you. I threw that in as an honorable as well. Super Mario World. Can't say much more about it. It's just a classic that is fun to play. Get your family. Well, I say get your family, but really get your buddy over. Y'all play.
Yep.
And I guarantee you, a weekend's worth of time, especially teens, man. But when we were teens, early teens specifically, dude, Mario World was the way to go. So,
and it was one of those games where you didn't go to the video store to rent. Like you bought that game. You bought it. You were like, I don't even need to see the cover art. I don't even need to see the back. I don't need Nintendo Power. It's a fucking Mario game. Like you're gonna get it.
Hell yeah.
Which is one of the reasons that made our list. And speaking of that, I actually watched him play through it a few days ago. So that was very nostalgic and nice to see. Yeah.
I've got just a few more areas to go, and I'll have that 100% completed. Star Road's done. Yep. So, yeah. I had to sidetrack for one of my other games that I'll mention later. My first honorable mention, though, overall, is going to be the Burnout series. Not Paradise. Fuck Paradise. There was no need in that game. We already had Need for Speed. We didn't need the bullshit to get... I'm glad they caught me with my eyes closed. We didn't need the bullshit that was brought along with Paradise.
Yep.
Then they went and fucking remastered it. Listen, Burnout 1 was cool. It was original. Burnout 2, crash junctions. Holy shit. Burnout 3, let's improve the graphics of it and make it funner, more vehicles, more shit to do.
Yep.
Then you had the Revenge and the Dominators, and those were okay in their own right, but I think EA took them a little further than what they needed to go.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I'm not knocking those. Fuck Burnout Paradise. And that's all I got to say.
You know, and just to bounce off that, like, I think Burnout 3, I think I told the story before. I may have told it on stream, but the reason I got a PS3 was because of Burnout 3. Like, it's so my old job had a TV in the back room, and we were able to go back there and just kind of chill out and do whatever. Like, it was a break room. And my buddy used to bring his PlayStation all the time. Every time he worked, he would hook it up in the back. Anybody could play it. And he would only bring Burnout. Like, Burnout was the only game I played. And as soon as I saw it, or as soon as I saw somebody playing it and I saw the accidents, I'm like, this is a cool-ass game. This is neat. So that's what actually got me out to get a PS3 is because of that game. Just because of the accidents and stuff. And I know, to be fair, I don't even think I got far in the game because I just wanted to cause hell and do it all over again. I'm like, hey, high score. I'm like, cool, let's do it again. See if we can clip this car this time. But no, I fully agree. I think Burnout is a good series. As for Paradise, I didn't play it enough, but I will agree with V. Let's say fuck that one. Soundtrack was good though, right? It had Guns N' Roses.
Go listen to the other Burnout soundtracks.
All right, that's true.
They shut Paradise way down.
It had Guns N' Roses, a lot opening. Welcome to the jungle. You're like, all right, I see what's up.
But
it didn't make the game,
too little,
though.
too late. Yeah, it was too little, too late. Paradise City had been out for a while, and then Burnout Paradise came out, and again, I don't see why they remastered the game. it's one of those like, well, maybe if you didn't like it the first time, well, dude, if I eat food and I don't like it the first time, I'm not going to eat it a second fucking time. So it doesn't do you no good to put it back on my plate.
You can't disguise it as something different.
Fuck no.
Oh, right. Shit. Okay, so my next one, as I said, a lot of people don't play these games, or some do now because you can speed through them as much as you can, but I recommend not because they're fun. The Dark Souls series, 1, 2, and 3. Like I've never played a game like that before. As I said, I think Mega Man taught me a lot about patience and working on bosses and stuff like that, and bringing that over to Dark Souls, I think helped me actually finish those games. I did buy Dark Souls 1. I bought the big ass edition when it first came to Xbox, and I played it for 20 minutes, and I got to a boss, and I was on him for hours, and I'm like, I can't do this to myself. I went back to GameStop. The same guy that gave me the game gave me $20 refund. I'm like, dude, I just opened this game. He's like, well, yeah, you opened it though. I'm like, you're a dick, man. So I think I spent like 80 on it, and I got like $20 back within an hour or two. And
Ooh,
you know, I didn't get back to it until they remastered, or not remastered, but backwards compatible on Xbox One. When they made it backward compatible, and that's when I beat it, and that's when I was like, okay, I can probably do this now. I went back and did 2, I went back and did 3. So those will definitely always be a special place because I have those stories where, you know, the first one kicked my ass, and I'm gonna admit it. It did. Like it made me rage and made me want to stop, and I sold it and I got rid of it. But you know, looking back at it though, I just love them. I think they're great games. Yeah, I really do. The stories are great. The worlds are beautiful. But yeah, that first game, when I got to that boss, I'm like, I cannot do this. But you know, I've talked about my cousin many times before. You know, him and I didn't play through those. I know that he did play them. I know that he did play like Bloodborne and stuff like that as well. But as I said, we kind of compared what we did before and said, okay, did you do this with this boss, or did you use this on this boss? So we had a lot to talk about, you know, and it's just one of those games that's always going to be high on the list for me, at least an honorable mention as it was. But yeah, definitely one of those games that I would go back to today and say this is still a good game. Like, you know, I still watch people stream it, and I don't say anything to them. I let them do what they want because I don't want to spoil it. Like, if they're struggling, they'll figure it out. You know, it's you know, I see people come in and it's like, hey, use this and use this. I'm like, don't, let them do it. Like, let them learn how to take the boss down.
Right.
Let them learn the mechanics of it. You know, unfortunately, my cousin's no longer here, and I can't say, you know, dude, I beat these games finally, because he wouldn't believe me. He'd be like, no, you didn't. I'd be like, dude, check this out. Like, here's my achievements. But because he knew that I sold the first one after a couple hours, because him and I were talking on the phone when I played it. But like I said, it's always going to be one of those special things where I'm like, I can do this now. Like, this was a lot of fun. So moving forward, I played all those games, but I think Mega Man and those definitely taught me, slow down, take your time. This can be done. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I get that. I never played the Dark Souls series myself, but you know, really I played a very close one in Elden Ring.
Yep.
Same developers, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I do still need to go back and beat that DLC. It was a game that Outlaw pushed me to play. I'm not gonna lie. He pushed me and pushed me and said, look, dude, you really need to try it. You really should. It's a tough game. It's an easier one of the series,
Yep.
but it is still a tough game in its own right. You should try it out. I think you'll have a good time. And I did. So I'm not going to go in on it a whole lot, but I did have a lot, some help there at the beginning. So I will admit to that. But by the time I had spent hours into it, oh God, dude, I played through that game 6 or 7 times, or I'm on my 7th time through.
At this point, he's played it more than me.
I was waiting on the DLC, and I found out after the fact that you do not go and get New Game Plus 7 and then try that DLC. You will fuck yourself to no end. And while Outlaw has beat the boss, I'm going to call him out on it because he did start a new character to go back and beat that boss, and he didn't do it with his original character. I've not beat the boss. I've not beat the DLC with my guy, just because, holy shit.
To be fair, I did beat the boss with a wizard. That was not easy, okay? This was I was paper mache, man. If Verdun looked at me wrong, I'm dead. So I'll give it to you that it was a new character, but it was a wizard.
we can have this debate, because you can't have a damn army with guns fighting guys with sticks and say that you did it. We give each other a lot of shit about it. But when you can stand back 10 miles and he can never get to you, then it makes it easier. I want to see him do it with his big boy build that he had. That's the real challenge.
I will get to it when I buy the DLC for the Xbox, but if anyone's been through it with the wizard, let me know, because that shit was not easy. I don't care. You can't stand that far back. Like my shots were still missing, but I had fun. Like it was good.
I'm not even going to go down the road. We could have an episode. We could have 3 or 4 episodes.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, we could bring in half of our community and talk about it, and it would be a nonstop, just back and forth on it. But yes, I do still need to beat Radon on the end of the DLC. Yeah. I am going to do the same thing. I am going to start a new character. Will it be today? Will it be this week, this month, this year? Probably fucking not, because he annoyed the piss out of me. But will I go back and beat him? You damn right. Because I'm not going to leave a task undone.
That's right. Vengeance will be had.
Hell yeah.
Yep. My next one I will say is Super Mario Brothers 3, NES original Mario 3. I still think that's probably one of the better ones out there is 3. Coming from 1, you're like, this is cool, and then they changed 2, and you're like, what the hell did they do to 2? And then they came out and just punched you in the face with the 3rd game. And it's just such a great game, with the warp, you can warp around wherever the hell you want. The levels were all themed. You had like the Desert World 1, and you had like the big level in World, I think it was 4 or something like that, and the ice levels. I loved them. I thought it was cool. Like, I thought it was just such a cool game. I know we've talked about Mario 3 before, and we've already said probably anything we can say about it, but that's definitely on my list as an honorable mention is Mario 3. I absolutely love that one. I think that was the one where they introduced the flying mechanic to it.
The raccoon tail.
Yeah. Raccoon tail and all the different stuff you can pick up. You can go into a level fully kitted out with the raccoon, with the frog, with the firepower, and just blast the hell out of stuff. But yeah, I thought it was a very unique take on Mario at that point, because as I said, when 2 came out and we were like, what the fuck is this? And I've beaten the second one, but it's been a very long time, and honestly I wouldn't care to go back to it. Like, it's one of those games where like, I did it, one and done. I don't need to do it again.
I'm with you on that. I'm with you. 3 gives you those nostalgic vibes, and like you said, kitting it out, it was give you mild RPG elements with keeping the side scroller fun. Yep. So yeah, I agree with you on that one. I went with Ellipse, and for those of you who don't know what Ellipse is, that is another side scroller style game. Fucking brutal. Like, that game will literally kick you in the dick and then reach down and give you a hug to make it all better. And by that I mean you got a spot that you go through that's like, fuck this, and you're over and over and over and over dying, repeating, doing it, and then you get to the next spot and it's like, here, save, you're good now.
Yeah,
all is well with the world. And it really ain't, because 2 seconds later
You're back in
getting
it.
kicked in the ass. Yeah. So, but yeah, Ellipse, we've both played it. We've both enjoyed it. If you haven't, I recommend giving it a try if you like challenging games. If you don't like challenging games, at least watch somebody else play it, because it's well worth the watch.
And I think it was one of those games where V was like, he played it first, he beat it, and he's like, all right, he's like, I want to see you play this on stream, fully on stream. I don't want you doing stuff off. So yeah, there were times, there were sections where I was playing out, and I kept thinking in the back of my head, I'm like, this motherfucker. He put me through this, man. He put me through this. But all in all, I agree. Ellipse is a fantastic game. It's very difficult, but it's very satisfying when you get to that part and you're like, I'm done for the day. Like, I made it. I did it myself. We're done for now. But yeah, I agree with that 100%.
Oh yeah,
100% on that one. My next one, I will say, I think a lot of people played. I hope, if not, play it. It's relaxing. It's chill as hell. I still get shit from V every time I play it, because he's like, why don't you come over to my house and do it for real? It's Power Wash Sim. I like Power Wash Sim. It's so relaxing. But every time I'm streaming it or I'm playing it in Discord, V's like, come over to my house. He's like, I've got stuff you can power wash right now. He's like, you ain't gonna like it. But I love it.
I've got a pressure washer. I've got a pressure washer. Anytime you want to play Power Wash, hell, if you want to play Lawnmower Sim, Weed Eater Sim, any of that, if you want to sim that shit, come on by. Yeah. I got stuff for you. I know. And I'm not going to pay you, but you can get snacks and you can get drinks for free.
I can do that. But it's just such a relaxing game. Like, you have a shitty day or a long day and you just want to come home and play something, and you're like, I don't know what to do. Throw on Power Wash Sim. You can just sit there for hours and get lost in it and keep playing it. You know, I know the second one's coming out soon. I think they just released the last of the DLC for number one, but I'm generally looking forward to playing the second one. I know it's the same game, and are you going to be just power washing random stuff? But I loved it. I thought it was good. Like I said, it's so damn chill. Like I said, I know most people played it, but if you haven't, sit down, waste some time, and have some fun with Power Wash Sim, and I'll take you up on that offer, bro.
I was going to say, if you don't want to play the game, come on by the house. Anybody is more than welcome. I will set everything up for you. I got plenty of hose to cover the whole my driveway needs it. My sidewalk needs it. Yeah, come on by.
I'll
power
do it.
Wash away.
I'll do it. When I get out there, I'm power washing. maybe I'll change my list later on and be like, you know what? This is not fun.
For me personally, I went with another. I can't say trilogy. I went with another 3 games on this. Yep. Final Fantasy VII Classic.
Yep.
Remake. Listen, don't get me wrong. The remake was good in its own right, but it was not Final Fantasy VII. And the fact the way they're doing it. Final Fantasy 15, that whole keep the RPG but allow more action. Absolutely wonderful. Yep. And I know some people didn't like it, but 16 stayed true to what 15 brought in, and made it a fun game. The story was absolutely fantastic. I do think they should have did better with summons. You'll have to play to understand. Yeah. But the story was great in its own right. 15, I had. God, bro, I don't even remember. I sent it to you how many hours I had, but I posted on Twitter. Yeah. I've got hundreds of hours in 15 just playing it over and over. Mm-hmm. And in 7, that 3-disc, 4-disc, whatever it was.
I think it was 4, yeah.
Yeah, dude. Oh, it was just great. Yeah. But yeah, for me, those stories to keep you. Again, man, if a story can touch your heart and it can keep you drawn in, mm-hmm. and 7 and 15 specifically, 16 I couldn't fully experience because I needed to upgrade my GPU. I am going to go back and play it now that I have things upgraded. I don't have the stuttering and lagging and the annoyance and frustration, but still overall a great game.
Yeah. And to bounce off what you're saying, I know I may catch hell for this, and I'm prepared. 15 was my first Final Fantasy game I've ever played. So yeah, and that's probably the look I'm getting right now from a lot of people. I only played it because my girlfriend wanted me to, and she sat there the whole time and watched me play it and was telling me how to do certain things, or help me when I needed it. But 15 was my introduction to that. I mean, I've seen them before, obviously. Like I didn't have my head buried in a cave or anything like that, but I've seen them all before. I've seen 7. I know what you're talking about the discs. Like my cousin played the hell out of 7, but 15 was actually my very first one, and then I went back and played 14 online with the buddy, and I watched V play 16. So I don't know as much about the game as most people do, but yeah, for sure, I will agree that it's a great series. So my final honorable mention, I've mentioned this before, is American Truck Sim. It's another sim game, but it's chill as hell. Like Power Wash, you can just sit back and listen to music and just drive. I mean, with controller, with wheel, with keyboard and mouse. I know some people that do play it with that, but they're still releasing new stuff with it. Like we still don't even have all the maps yet. They keep releasing stuff for it and just making the game better and better. So I will say ATS, I loved it. American Truck Sim, it's always on sale. If anyone wants to play it or take a look at it, it's usually on sale. I think the main game comes with like California, Nevada, and Utah, something like that. But once you play it, you're going to be like, I get it. This is fun. I know it's not for a lot of people. I think V tried it a little bit. And my other buddy tried it, and he wasn't quite into it either. But as I said before, I've met many people through that game, and it's been wild to play, and I'm still playing it today, as I said. But I would say ATS is definitely on my list. It has to be, just for the amount of hours I put into that game too. So yeah, yeah, I love it. I think it's great, a great game, very fun.
Like you said, I tried it. I did get quite a few of the maps. Just overall, it wasn't for me because I didn't feel like there was an in-game goal to it. I know there is, especially like you have the trucking truck books, I believe it's called. But it was just, I'm not a driver, right? When I have to go places in real life, I get a bit frustrated. Whether it's to work, whether it's to the store, and Outlaw I'm sure he can understand, because like me, he's really the only one that drives.
Yep.
So anywhere and everywhere you have to go, and that's what burned me quick on that game. Yeah, I did spend the money on it, but it also got shoveled into the back, and that's kind of where it's going to stay.
Yeah.
I may go back and play it some other time, but for right now, I don't have no love lost, and I don't have no hatred for it. It's not me.
I get that. I get that. I totally understand that. Okay, so as we get into our number ones, again, guys, if you have a top 5 list, honorable mentions, link it below. We want to see. Comment below. I'm very curious. I'm hoping we get. I hope we get some comments, because I'm very curious what a top 5 would be for a younger generation that might be watching this, or another generation above us. That has played older games than we have played, or has maybe games that we've never heard of that are in your top 5 list. I'd love to check them out. Definitely comment below. As you can see, I love the Ninja Turtles. I have so much shit, you have no idea. Mine's Turtles in Time. As V said, I'm not gonna get too much into this because we had talked about it already, but it's definitely on my list. Like it's probably always gonna remain number 1, no matter what. I just absolutely love it, and playing with my friends when we were in the same house and the same room, picking your favorite turtle and just kicking some ass. Like that doesn't get any better than that. And the traversing of time, as I said, you're on a pirate ship, or you're fighting dinosaurs, or you know, and you're throwing, you know, the foot soldiers at the screen if you have the right angle. I just loved it.
Yeah, I forgot that. Yeah.
So as I said, I will not get too much into it because we did talk about it, but Turtles in Time for sure is my favorite one, and we will definitely get the co-op going when we can.
Oh shit, yeah, dude. I mean, anytime, you know, and if y'all have games that we need to check out, let us know.
Yeah.
But as far as the co-op thing, bro, you know, anytime. We ain't got nothing going on. I'm home from work. You're not. Shit. Hit me up. We'll play it. We'll lock everybody away. We're gonna chill out and play the game.
I'm cool.
I mean, and we don't even have to do that. I mean, we got 2 other slots that can be open.
That's true.
You can do the 4-player. That was the real big experience for me. Was having all your buddies or several of your buddies, and y'all could all experience it.
Yep.
Of course, you know, there was always that one that we had to carry. I'm not mentioning their names. He smiled. That's on him. I'm not mentioning their names.
I said nothing, man.
I'm not mentioning names. But no, I'm referring back to my younger days. We had friends to carry. But yeah, dude, that 4-player mechanic was just badass on it.
Yeah, totally agree. But I mean, like I said, we've touched on it already, but it's definitely a go-to. It's you know, the transition screens when you're going back in time and you see all the turtles floating down. It's cool. It's just such a cool game. You know, it's I'm sure most have played it. If not, try to find a copy and play it. I mean, there's several places online now that you can just play a game through the web browser. I would recommend it though.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And that brings us to my number one. And my number one is actually because I played an original version of it years ago. Super Metroid. I played the original Metroid when I was young, like young. Never did get a copy of myself or for myself on the Nintendo. And my buddy had Metroid on the Super Nintendo. When I wound up buying my own Super NES, it took me a while, but I did get one. I got a copy of Super Metroid, and when I finally went back and played the old Metroid, I think the Super version really did it. That exploration, that keeping the hit of nostalgia, but at the same time, bits of originality to it. Really did it, you know. The exploration, the weapons, the upgrading, the unlocking parts of the map that, God, dude, there's just so much to say about that game. It was just, and then getting, you know, the culmination of fighting Mother Brain and escaping. That really did it. I've not played another Metroid since. I know Outlaw has with the Switch, right?
Metroid Dread.
Yeah.
Tough game, but fun.
Well, I saw the Prime series and it never interested me. It didn't. I'm one of those where if it's a certain way, I like to keep it a certain way.
I get that.
And when they went away from the side scroller, I'm a Metroidvania guy. You know this. You know, I love those side scroller style games. But when they went away from it and they went more 3D first person, I felt like it was sacrilegious. Yeah. So, yeah, Super Metroid, busting ass with Samus through space. I can't even, bro. I'm just thinking about the game. I want to throw it on and play it. That's why it is my number one. Might not take me but an hour to get bored, but you know what? It's still my fucking number one, and I'll still come back and play it.
Which I think you did too, didn't you? Almost close to 100% that a few times when we were watching, or at least getting pretty close to it.
I 100%ed it on the Super. The first time that I had the emulator stuff set up on my old PC, I didn't 100% it, but I did beat it. I have 100%ed it, and then that's when my external drive shit the bed. Okay. So now I'm at 0% yet again. Got to get rid of the goose egg, you know.
Yeah.
So got to get rid of that and get it back. But yeah, man, there's just, God, dude, just thinking about the hours that I've put into that game. There isn't a game that I have played since that I have as many hours overall as I do in Super Metroid.
Okay.
Like I have played it that many times.
Wow.
Yeah, dude.
Okay.
Did you ever?
I have played it. Yes, I have played Super Metroid before. I would put it on my list as well. If we had a longer one, as we keep saying before, but I have played that one before. Yeah. I don't think I ever 100%ed it, but I did beat it. I do remember it fondly. But yes, I definitely have played Super Metroid and the originals and all of that stuff too. And you know, I'm gonna tell you the truth. I don't think I ever played the 3D ones. What was it called again? Prime. So
yeah,
I never played Prime. As V said, I did play one called Metroid Dread. If you've not played that, it is on Switch. It is a side scroller like Metroid is. Tough as nails. It's a tough game. But once you figure out the bosses, you know, you spent like 4 hours on and you beat them in 5 minutes, you're like, damn, I just wasted so much time. But it's a fun game. Like it is really a true to the series type game. I really enjoyed Dread, but I 100% agree with V. Super Metroid is a well done game.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
Hell yeah. Well, that culminates our top fives, along with some honorable mentions. Again, feel free to comment. If you don't like our list, that's fine. It's fully respectful. Let us know what yours is, and we will compare notes.
Yeah, I'd definitely love to see them. Like I said, it could be any console, computer, handheld. It doesn't matter. Old school, new school. It's let us know what you think, and if you agree with some of the ones on our list, let us know why.
Yeah, guys, that's all for us. Stick around next week. We're going to be doing the yin to our yang. We're going to do the top 5 games that we just absolutely fucking despise.
Yeah.
Like, not just ones we don't like. These games, if they were on fire, we wouldn't piss on them to put them out. The games that we just don't care for, don't think there was any reason for them to exist.
And can't recommend.
And again, yeah, this is just our personal list. So, hello, you got anything to add?
I am good, brother. I think we hit what we hit, and I think this was a good list that we were able to get together. Hell yeah,
absolutely. And I'm surprised to see that we had games, not so much games on the list, but games ranked similarly on the list. So,
yeah, that was cool. That was neat to see.
Yeah. For me, V, I'm done.
Outlaw, we are out. I appreciate you guys watching, and please let us know what y'all think. As for now, we're done.
Oh yeah, till next time, guys. Kiosk is closed.
Thank you, everybody.